Welcome to our video today, where we're going to tackle a common issue that many Spring Boot developers face when migrating to version 3.28. Authentication problems. If you're watching this video, chances are you've encountered some frustrating errors while trying to get your application up and running with the latest version of Spring Boot. Don't worry. You're not alone. In this video, we'll break down the reasons behind these authentication issues and provide a step-by-step guide on how to resolve them. We'll start by understanding what's changed in Spring Boot 3.28 that's causing these authentication problems. Then, we'll dive into the key concepts and steps you need to take to fix these issues. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to troubleshoot and resolve authentication errors in your Spring Boot application. So, what's changed in Spring Boot 3.28 that's causing these authentication problems in previous versions of Spring Boot? The default security configuration was enabled by default. However, with the release of version 3.28, this is no longer the case. Now, you need to explicitly enable security configuration in your application. To understand why this change has caused so many issues, let's take a step back and look at how Spring Boot handles authentication. When a user makes a request to your application, Spring Security checks if the user is authenticated by looking for an authentication object in the security context holder. If no authentication object is found, Spring Security will redirect the user to a login page. However, with the changes in version 3.28, this process has changed slightly. Now, you need to explicitly configure the security settings in your application, properties, or application .1 file. If you don't do this, you'll encounter authentication errors when trying to access protected resources. So what are the key steps you need to take to fix these authentication issues? Firstly, you need to add the Spring Security Starter dependency to your POM. .xml file if you're using Maven or your build. Gradle file if you're using Gradle. This will include all the necessary dependencies for Spring Security in your project. Next, you need to create a security configuration class that extends Web Security Configure adapter. In this class, you'll override the configure method where you can specify which resources are protected and how users should be authenticated. For example, if you want to protect all resources under the API path, you can use the AntMatches method to specify this in your security configuration class. And you can also specify a custom login page or a logout URL using the form login method or the loguturl method respectively. Finally, don't forget to enable web security by adding the @enable web security annotation on your security configuration class. So, what are the main points you should take away from this video? Firstly, remember that with Spring Boot 3.28, security configuration is no longer enabled by default. You need to explicitly enable it in your application, properties, or application .1 file. Secondly, make sure you've added the Spring Security Starter dependency to your project and created a security configuration class that extends Web Security Configure adapter. Finally, don't forget to specify which resources are protected and how users should be authenticated using methods like AntMatches, form login, and loguturl, and of course enable web security by adding the @enable web security annotation on your security configuration class. That's it for today's video. We hope you now have a clear understanding of why authentication issues occur in Spring Boot 3.28 and how to resolve them. If you have any questions or need further clarification, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to our channel for more videos on Spring Boot and other Java-related topics. And as always, thanks for watching.